I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know you. Within the urban environment, golf clubs provide an important space for flora and fauna. When you go around neighbourhoods now, there's hardly anything that flowers anymore.
Yeah, I think...
And it's so important. Nearly everyone I speak to hates noisy miners because they're just
I've got 3 in my house.
Yeah, I think your wife would probably say 4 noisy miners.
Encouraging biodiversity in your backyard could make management of a turf area easier if there's certain pests that can't exist because the birds are eating them, etc.
Exactly.
How do your environmentalist friends feel about shooting foxes?
Are we thinking pest or guest here?
You've got me all...
You're confused. He's not confident anymore.
No, this is the dude that acts in the REA commercial.
I have something to say about that, actually.
Whoa. They don't put much thought into the architecture, do they?
Well, we made this at a school that I was at.
Oh, that looks good. That's good. I think...
Spray or nay. So if you saw this in your garden, would you spray or would you not spray?
It's not lawn. I'm spraying. I do like that you're able to come onto a podcast or engage in a market where you could be, you're going to cop criticism for you shouldn't be spending time with these people, they're murderers.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for inviting me.
For those of you that aren't aware, Manina is here as a special guest today. Manina's, I probably should turn my TikTok thing on. Is this one on?
I think I'm on. Yeah. Thank you.
Manina's here. Were you meant to be at work?
No, I'm only part-time.
Okay, so that's good. And this fit into your schedule okay?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I was a bit worried.
Because I'm transitioning out of Glenelg, actually.
Okay. Yeah. And that's like an active transition?
So I've started a consultancy business with a friend called Kate Torgersen.
Torgersen, all right, because we minced the name last week.
I know, it's a difficult name and we do sound like a bit of a law firm, but...
It does,
It does, I know. But there's a reason for it.
As long as you charge like a law firm, right? Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for it, actually, because we spent months going around different names like nature this, create this. Green, yeah. And then...
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. Thanks. I should have brought the name to you before we went with it. But anyway...
I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know you. And Kate said to me that she had been told by a couple of supers that she'd missed out on some work with different golf clubs. And I was thinking it's probably partly because they're going to bigger firms. Yeah. And firms that are run by males.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, so we'd be like the only sort of female firm getting around. So
we wanted
to kind of play with the big boys.
Well, you know what? If you've got it, flaunt it. Not to go that way, but like you have to play the cards you've been dealt.
Yeah.
And so I think that being a female owned and operated business, 100% female owned and operated, is going to serve you as well.
Yes. Yeah.
But I do believe that there is still some old heads, especially in the golf world.
Yeah.
Who will have that? Well, shouldn't she be doing? More of the kind of, cleaning?
Yeah, I was going to say making the biscuits and
it's
cooking in the kitchen.
I think it's stupid, but...
Yeah. But I think as well, the other thing is, interestingly, both of our logos, so my logo for Green Gecko is a gecko and hers for Environmental Golf is a frog. And so we did try and merge the logo and then we just thought, let's just try again and not be cutesy. So we're trying not to be cutesy and like sort of raise it a bit more to, I guess, go with the bigger firms like Cruise Golf, OCM, those sorts of Crafter Mogford, like try to be a bit more corporate. At that level. Yeah, a bit more corporate.
Well, you can grow into it then, right? Like,
yeah, that's right.
I don't like the term fake it till you make it because I think it's shit, but a lot of people will say that. It's not so much faking it till you make it. I think it's setting yourself up with the future in mind.
Yes.
And being prepared for growth and, the logo will, like Waterpro's logo has never changed. We've had it's 15 years old and we had it designed back then, and at one point I spoke to the designer and said, I think we should just redo it. And she goes, why? I'm like, I don't know, everyone else is doing their logos. Like ANZ just got their, let's do it. And she goes, changing your logo is risky because it might give an indication that something's changed.
Yeah.
And if nothing's changed, you're still offering the great service and the good business, then maybe don't do that. So
I did hear, not that I actually have a can of Coke here. I'm not doing a plug for Coca-Cola. But
we don't have a sponsor. If Coca-Cola want to give me $1 million.
But I've read somewhere that they're one of the companies that have never changed their logo.
Yeah. Well, if Coke come through as a sponsor, I'll give you 10%.
Sounds like
It'll
a
be
deal.
good.
Are we going to handshake?
It'll be solid. You can trust my word. It's on camera anyway.
Yeah, all right. That's good.
So we did a podcast with for WaterPro however long ago,
It was like a year ago.
Okay, that's good. So my time is good. Do you like Dylan's hair?
Yeah, what's going on there? I was a bit confused.
Yeah, he's confused.
I only saw him a couple of weeks ago. He got straight hair, and I come in today, he's got curly hair.
It's because he's got an electric car. He touches it.
I was going to ask you, has he been playing with PowerPoints?
Yeah, it's a BYD cut. Sith will love that. Oh, I forgot my soundboard. So I do have a soundboard.
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard the meow before. And
yeah, I hope you don't mind me injecting sounds into your podcast.
Yeah,
I'll try and keep it light.
Just depends how appropriate they are.
Oh, they'll be inappropriate. I'm basically going to be operating as a podcast host and a security guard today because I've got all the questions popping up, and our audience are absolute animals.
Yeah.
It's our fault. But I do want to make sure that we bring value to the audience and also not disrespect your time. So talk to me a bit about biodiversity and what your business does and how that evolved. Like I guess we know you as Manina from Glenelg, right?
Yeah, that's
right. But that's not going to be the case moving forward. That's right. So talk to me about the origin story, I guess.
Well, so for some time I have had my Green Gecko Studios business on the side, which has mainly just been sort of kids education, kids craft, or like education workshops.
As in
councils.
Not biodiversity specific?
So like doing kitchen garden education, like a 1 hour session with
so
the council.
That's a big umbrella of stuff that falls under that.
Yeah, but I always bring in biodiversity somehow with every presentation that I do. And then now I've merged with Kate. So Kate's been doing with Environmental Golf Solutions. She's been doing what I do for Glenelg.
Yep.
For golf courses around Australia, and mainly on the eastern seaboard, which she's done for quite some time. And so she and I, for years, have been talking about merging together, and with the idea that I'd do South Australia, WA, and then she'd do the eastern seaboard. And then eventually we're just like, we just got to do it.
If you don't,
because we just talk about it forever. So we've just got to do it. And we kind of launched at the Asthma Turfgrass Conference in June. And we've got our first client, Cottesloe Golf Club. So we're heading over to Cottesloe next week.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Yeah, it was very good. And shout out to Cottesloe for taking a chance. But Des Russell, the superintendent, we've met him before, and he's very confident in our skills. So
that's really cool. It's you'll remember that forever. And that
that's right.
All of the pieces that make up that. Deliverable, like the flights and going there and overcoming things, and I remember the value of my first invoice, right? Like to that point, like we won this job and it was this, and you look back on it, I guess, and laugh in a way, but also with good memories and go, wow, can you remember when we were doing, I don't know, $100,000 a year, and now we've got 14 consultants across the country, and that's if that's what you want.
Yeah, well, one day maybe, but we'll see how it goes. So we're starting off very modestly at the moment.
So did that? Did you get any leads from the asthma? You had a stand there.
We had a stand there, yeah. So that was Kate initially got it as Environmental Golf Solutions, and we decided to turn it into Torgersen Gilbey. Yep. We got a lot of contact from a lot of people, which was really good, and hoping that will turn into business at some point. But
the timing feels right.
Yeah, exactly, and we're getting asked to speak around the country as well. So we're speaking for the WA Turf Seminar in September. So we're going over to Perth again in September, and speaking at the Golf Summit in Melbourne.
So I got away quite lightly nabbing you
literally.
For a couple of pieces of lamb and a bread roll.
Well, I'm a vegetarian, so...
for a couple of cauliflower tacos and a sparkling water.
Some cauliflower tacos and a can of Coke.
That's cool. So the speaking, like you'll charge for speaking?
Yeah, so...
You won't use it as like a funnel to get more work?
Yeah, so WA Turf are basically paying our expenses to go over
which
there.
Is perfect.
But Golf Australia are paying us as presenters. So, it's really good.
Because you could do both, right? You could speak for free and then back yourself to win some work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it sort of depends on the situation. Yeah. But we've been working on this project using iNaturalist. So iNaturalist is an international citizen science project where people take photos of things they find and then they upload it to the website, and then people identify that. So what we've done is we've geofenced golf clubs. So I've done it at Glenelg, geofenced the golf club. So anyone who's a member of this iNaturalist group takes a photo, and that automatically ends up getting uploaded to the Glenelg project. So I think we've got about 175 observations of, I think, about 100 species. So
is that moderated well? Because I could see some, especially some of our audience, posting photos that aren't appropriate.
No, so this is the perfect thing.
That's what I'm thinking we should do.
Yeah, no, because say I find a royal spoonbill and I say this was found at Glenelg, then two other people have to confirm that that's that sighting, and then that becomes a research grade sighting. So if someone at Adelaide Uni is doing research into spoonbills, they can go to iNaturalist and see a map of Adelaide and use that and quote that in their papers.
So this is like Pokemon Go, but it actually matters.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
It's like it actually brings value to society.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So it's a really good way to map what's happening around Adelaide or at the golf clubs.
So are you incorporating that into the business? Like, is that something that you're trying to set up for people as well?
Yeah. So Kate set up a Golf for Nature umbrella project. So you have collection projects and then you have an umbrella project which can suck up all those other projects. So she's created one called Golf for, F-O-R-E, Nature. And I think we've got about 6 golf clubs. So we've got Glenelg, we've got Lake Currinyup, West Lakes Golf Club. West Lakes Golf Club has just joined up, and so has the Mosman Golf Club in Perth. So we're starting to get a few more. Kate's added Royal Canberra. And
so is that an independent app to you, or is that Kate's app? Or
no, this is like an international
and then you
website.
Guys basically
just created a project in there.
Yep.
So we've just added this project, and then we can add golf clubs to this project. So
and why does that matter? Like, why do they care about that? Why do golf clubs want that information?
Well, basically what we're trying to do is show that golf clubs have value.
To the government?
To the society, I
humans?
guess, in a way. So a lot of people, as we talked about in the last podcast, people were questioning my decision as an environmental person to go and work at a golf club.
And kill all the bees.
Kill all the bees, whatever. So this is a way to say that within the urban environment, golf clubs provide an important space for flora and fauna. So if we can prove what's there, and then say like in Moore Park or things that are happening in Sydney and in Melbourne where they're trying to take over golf clubs, if you can say, well, actually, this is the home of this rare butterfly or we've had this many birds visit, if you take part of this for housing, that means they're going to lose their habitat. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of pressure in golf, financial pressure for some of the clubs that don't maybe have the membership or they're not, I guess, financially fluid. That they're looking to sell parts of their land, and I guess is there a potential that government then might support that financially so they don't have to sell it or they go for grants?
Sure.
I mean, I know you
that's
can't.
Right. Yeah, you can go for grants and whatever, but I think it is because I've done a bit of work with Green Adelaide. I think people are starting to see that golf clubs do play an important role.
It makes sense. I mean, the funny thing is North Adelaide's a funny example because it is an unfenced golf club.
Yeah.
So there's just dogs walking through.
Yeah, but I heard that they recently found some native grasses there.
Yeah.
So,
Simon will spray them out.
Yeah.
There'd be a selective for that.
That's right. Yeah, so that's, I think if you can actually prove that there is purpose or there's a reason for them for being around. So if you look at urban biodiversity, we're not going to start knocking down houses and creating forests again or whatever. So having places like golf clubs and even reserves and parks that council own do contribute significantly to creating habitat.
The knocking down of houses to create space for urban or for nature is probably more of a communist possibility than a democratic possibility. Like in Australia, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
If China or Russia discover they need to, then it's like, oh no, that's cool. We'll just relocate everyone. And if they don't move, we'll just kill them and the birds will be good.
That's right.
So you're doing this for Glenelg at the moment. Yeah. Have done for a while.
Yes.
Is there a handover? Like, have you got someone that's stepping into that role, or will you consult to them now? Or it's kind of
so that's what we're looking at maybe
at
some point.
The work is the work you've done something that's easy for Tim and the guys and girls to just continue.
I think at some point, I was just talking to Tim about this the other day, and Tim's looking at doing some kind of restructure. But I think that there will be possibly an opportunity for me to do some consulting back, because there are some things that I do that it's hard to give over to somebody else, like. Because we've got an aquifer storage recovery system, we have to provide a report to Department of Environment and Water every year. And so we have to collect data and this, that, and the other. So it's just something that you don't want to confuse no new person with. And
if it's cost less for that than it was, then it's great. Exactly. And they win, you win. Yeah, you get to go start your business. Yeah. You don't have to see Tim as much.
Yeah, that's right.
Win. Exactly. I don't mean that, Tim.
It's a great team at Glenelg, and look, Tim and I have been together. Well, we're working together for 6 years now, and it's been a good team.
So fast. I feel like Tim only just started there. Yeah. The Glenelg have been very accommodating with, I guess, things like this.
Yes.
Rob as much as Tim and you. Mm-hmm. It feels like, I think if I lived, I don't care about golf either. It annoys the shit out of me because I'm so bad at it. But I love the idea of being good at golf. Yeah. I'm not willing to put the time into it. I think Glenelg would be a club that I would be a member at if I played. Yes. It just feels more, I don't know, not youthful is probably not the right word, but energetic. And, I feel like I wouldn't get told off for listening to music or, I don't know. It just feels like it's not as rigid as some of the other clubs.
That's right. Yeah.
But still delivers the same quality experience.
Yeah.
So you do that, leave, start the business. I guess this podcast is probably quite residential, so I'm keen to explore what people might be able to do. Here we go. I just had a question come through. Sorry. I was going to say from a biodiversity standpoint. So obviously, from a golf standpoint, you do a lot, and maybe we'll talk about that after. But what would an individual potentially do to manage biodiversity in their yard? And then this question specifically from Nathan Skaysbrook says, how can individuals manage their lawn to promote biodiversity? Is that a question that's answerable? Or is it a bigger, it's more
it's bigger than that.
The land that they are on is biodiverse.
Exactly. Yeah. So with the lawn, I'm not sure how much biodiversity you would get.
So it's more about the area.
Exactly. About adding flowers and attracting pollinators and stuff like that. But lawn areas and some of those clear areas can be beneficial for some birds or insects that are doing displays during mating times and whatever, that they've got that clear space. So sometimes, it is helpful to have that. And that, maybe just, sorry, Clint, using less chemicals in your garden. Sorry, I know you're trying.
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm all for it. That's all good.
Yeah.
We sell irrigation as well, don't worry.
Yeah, that's right. Well, irrigation.
If you've got a garden, they'll find a way to get some money from you.
Right. Well, interestingly, when we had that insect survey at Glenelg, there was a Green Adelaide Grassroots grant to do a coastal invertebrate study. And the entomologist found different insects at our course compared to down at Tennyson Dunes or the Southport Dunes. He said because of the water. So the water does change the ecology, but can change it for good in terms of there's more available water for insects.
Well, that's right. Like, I guess to go back to the argument of golf is good for society, they're being looked after, right? The spaces are well watered and looked after. Yeah. So did we tell Clint about the pest or guest or? Oh, okay. What? Pest or guest? As in, is this what happens when I rock up to a party?
Yeah, that's right.
This sounds like what there'd be like a survey.
Yeah. I should have actually had a photo of Clint. Sorry, there you go. I should have had a photo of Clint in this. I didn't think about that.
Pest or guest?
Yeah, pest or
hang on. Did you bring a presentation?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so organised. No. I just thought it would be good for people to to sort of, when we're talking about
we'll do that. I want to make sure we answer I guess the question a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially for Nathan, who's always watching the pod.
Yeah.
And I think Dylan ripped off one of his photos and we owe him some stuff or something. I'm joking. So from a backyard standpoint, using less chemicals. Cool. So biodiversity in a backyard and correct, I guess, use the start of this and finish it properly, is about creating an environment where you can have birds, insects, I guess flowering plants, everything coexisting.
Exactly.
And so from a homeowner, how do you encourage that? So you obviously don't spray stuff that kills bees.
Yeah. So I guess to go back a bit, biodiversity can be described as a web of life, right? So we're looking at, like, if you imagine a spider's web, and you need all the parts of that web for the web to function. So if parts of that web are broken or are not there, then the web doesn't work as well for the spider, but also for biodiversity. So you can create that web in your backyard by planting some native plants, planting native grasses, planting native flowers, planting shrubs that flower and that sort of thing. Because when you go around neighbourhoods now, there's hardly anything that flowers anymore.
Yeah, I think...
And it's so important.
Landscape design and landscape architecture is a little bit guilty of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe this will be part of your evolution with the business is being able to help provide support or advice to landscape architects that are looking to design... Like, the only thing I can think of that's comparative is in irrigation design at the moment. I guess the in thing is electrical efficiency in irrigation design, which you wouldn't usually think about. But you can design an irrigation system so that it's more efficient, so that the pumps are using less power per mil of water delivered.
Yeah.
It feels like with landscape architecture or landscape design, I might be, coming up with the next thing, or it might exist already, but biodiversity inside that design becomes part of it.
Yeah, and there are a few designers that are doing that, and that's, in all honesty, why I set up Green Gecko Studios, to try and help people be more biodiverse. But I guess you can look at it as biodiversity is about creating balance. So you look at the noisy miners that are around the place, and like nearly everyone I speak to hates noisy miners because they're just
I've got 3 in my house.
Are you talking about the kids?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just different to... Okay, I think I'm probably described as one as well.
Yeah, I think your wife would probably say 4 noisy miners, actually.
You've met my wife?
I was going to say, yeah. Where's
cool.
Celeste?
That's right. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, I know exactly what you'd say. But,
she's keeping the wheels of the household turning as well as the business at the moment. So
go Celeste.
Yes.
So you look at the noisy miners. So they are native. People have said to me before that they're not, but no, they're definitely native.
Native to Australia, and specifically native to parts of South Australia. Yep.
Yeah. And they're out of balance because we're creating landscapes that favour them over the other birds.
So they get stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this kind of like, I guess, as much as you're scared of sharks, killing all the sharks makes the ocean get out of balance?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's exactly right.
Yep.
Like I was reading something years ago, and people thought I was making this up, that in Monterey Bay in San Francisco, they had a big influx of these squid, and they were attacking people that were swimming and stuff like that. And partly, they reckon part of the problem was that there was overfishing of tuna. The tuna ate the same fish as the squid, and they were competing. But once you overfish the tuna, the squid had so many fish they could do what they want, and then their population exploded. So the balance is really important.
So there could be an argument for a homeowner that encouraging biodiversity in your backyard could make management of a turf area easier if there's certain pests that can't exist because the birds are eating them, etc.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like integrated pest management or something like that. But yeah.
And if you're lazy, you can go to lawnhub.com.au and you can do non-integrated pest management.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, do you have a label?
Use Manina as a discount code to save on anything that kills bees. No. And I know I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I do like that you're able to come onto a podcast or engage in a market where you could be, you're going to cop criticism for you shouldn't be spending time with these people. They're murderers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing, like that, when I was saying before that when I was moving to golf, I had enviro friends that were like, what are you doing? Like, this is like the worst thing you could do. Golf
You're part of the problem now,
Yeah,
Marina.
golf courses are ruining the environment. But it's really interesting because I've been able to show people that it's not, that there is actually an ecosystem there and that we are actually doing something positive.
And even if the golf courses are only doing it to tick a box or to try and lift up their environmentalism score, who cares, right? Like if you're getting the result and the world is a better place in the eyes of the environmentalists.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Because you're going to be able to affect more change inside the walls than outside the walls.
That's correct, right? Yeah. And like people say to me like, why would you even have a biodiversity manager at a golf club? Like, what would you even do? Like, you'd be doing nothing. And I'm like, well, did you...
I get paid to do nothing.
I was going to say, Tim, I do actually do work.
It sounds like being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, right. But, we've got 95 bird species, and that over 32 years we've been having quarterly bird surveys. So we have clear data. We've had an insect survey that's found 344 insect species. We've had a microbat survey that's found 5 microbats. So there's a lot going on there in that space. And if you think about all the golf clubs around Adelaide, that has the potential to be so much more happening in so many more places.
We have a bat population in the Adelaide CBD that seems out of control.
Yes.
Is it out of control?
I don't think it's out of control, but it's another balance issue again.
So what's that? That there's not enough people shooting bats? Is that the balance? I reckon I've asked this question before. No, what preys on bats?
Nothing, actually.
Yeah, okay. So it's a food source issue.
Yeah. So they only came to Adelaide, I think, in the last 10 years.
Yep.
They used to be on the eastern seaboard, but they've lost their habitat. So now they've come over here. And Adelaide is not their habitat. So I don't know whether you've heard, like, during those heat waves. Yeah. So
I don't have a sound for that.
Well, I was just saying on.
I've got to find
New ones.
I don't think I have a sound for that.
No.
And these sounds are really inappropriate for a professional podcast.
Are we trying to be professional today?
One of the comments that have just come through from David Giddens is she's too professional for you, Clint.
Well, you do realise this is on an act. I'm just trying.
I was going to say, you haven't seen Manina at an awards night after 9 o'clock. So on the dance floor, just ripping it up. So, yeah, so when it gets over 40, those bats are basically like our trams, right? They just don't work.
Yes. That's an interesting analogy.
You can use that. Clip that. Thanks, Jonesy.
So I know people that work at the Botanic Gardens, and they were saying that during that heat wave they had to pick up the dead bats, and that's not a nice job. So what they do now is they have misters on them, and they
where do they buy the misters from?
I don't know. Actually, you might have to call the Adelaide Botanic Gardens.
Please let me put this in my opportunities.
These misters for the bats, sponsored by Waterpro.
Sorry, that's I'm a salesperson before I'm anything else.
So and that shows that, you know, because things are out of balance, they've had to come here to find food, but it's not the temperature that they're used to. Their bodies haven't evolved to the temperature.
But they might.
Exactly. Well, someone was telling me they've seen them down near the Torrens, like flying into the water so that their bellies get wet. And then going into the tree and like licking their bellies.
This really feels like the start of the bats taking over.
Yeah, it could be.
Like over the next 100 years, they evolve and then.
Yeah. Well, that's also like the we call them the white ibis, but we all call them the bin chickens.
Were they called the sacred ibis?
Yeah,
at some
I was going to
point?
say they were the sacred ibis.
I was doing a bit of biodiversity in primary school, all right?
And they're significant to the Ghana people, I've heard recently, but their numbers have exploded. I've never seen them in so many.
Bin lids. That's the problem.
That's what it is. So we have like 60, 70 at the course sometimes. Like
it's
everywhere.
This is going to shock our audience and even everyone in the room. But in primary school, I went to Tornish Primary School, which was in St Agnes, and it had a relationship with the Teacher Gully Council, and they had the contributory scheme, which was the waterway that ran past the school. So we would act alongside the Teacher Gully Council and test for salinity and turbidity, and we'd measure the invertebrates.
Yeah, invertebrates.
Like the ones that swim backwards, the boat-looking things. I did know the names once, to the point where I won a scholarship to go to England when I was 12.
Hang on,
to go to an international conference on the environment in Eastbourne in England for like a week. So yeah, this.
What? I'm in shock. I am actually.
This is connected to the ibis.
Okay, yeah.
And so I remember back then the sacred ibis, I guess, was actually like seen by the council and us as, oh my gosh,
so
we've created an environment where they've actually come and they've and then like, hang on, this is next minute. They're in bins, and Tea Tree Plaza just has this influx of what were sacred ibises and now are affectionately known as bin chickens. But yeah. No, because, you see them in Sydney in Hyde Park. Sorry, these guys are like, where did that come from?
I'm still processing.
I'm a bit of a chameleon, all right? I can move with the guest.
Yeah, no, me too.
So, and so that's an example of, obviously, they've got good food source and really no predators except VN Commodores and
foxes.
Foxes, which are also an introduced species. So what do we need to introduce to kill foxes?
Yeah, it's like the old lady who swallowed a fly.
I think this just feels like England trying to sort things out.
Yeah, I think you just get a shooter for that. Yeah, for foxes.
How do your environmentalist friends feel about shooting foxes? Is that hard?
Foxes.
Because the fox is an animal, but then it's killing.
Yeah, I think it's just because they're so damaging to biodiversity. There is actually a machine called a felixer.
As in it turns foxes into...
No, into cats.
No, I was more thinking like it neuters them so that fox gets to live, but it doesn't make any more foxes.
Yeah, no, it's called a felixer, and it shoots a poison dart at the fox as it comes past.
So you want to hope it's a fox?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So the machine...
Is Elon Musk involved in this?
Yeah, the machine actually can recognise the gait of the fox.
This also sounds like that. Imagine weird. The bats and that machine get together.
Yeah. And it shoots the dart and then the fox goes back to its den and licks and
poisons everyone.
Yeah.
And then dies in the hole.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to bury him. That's handy.
That's why you just push all the soil back in the hole. Yeah, so I think Green Adelaide have used that on Torrens Island because it's been taking some populations of birds. Because that's the thing with foxes, they are...
If a fox shooter walked into the building right now, would you be able to tell they're a fox shooter?
I don't know.
Do they have a certain look?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Like,
I know we've got one at work.
Fox?
Yeah.
No? No? Okay.
No. I shoot foxes.
I've found I can pick the snake catcher.
Really?
You just look around and you can tell. They just have a look about them.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, you know when you have a golf event on, you're like, there's a dude just sitting there, like the snake catcher. No? Okay, cool.
No, I didn't realise I got invited to golf events, but...
Snake catchers, Liv have to have them. Like they had them at Grange.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, if they get a snake, imagine
could you imagine? Yeah.
Like all of the international audience shocked that the country that has like 10 of the most deadly snakes. Oh, there was a snake in this open spaces that promotes biodiversity. Anyway, so Bearded Kira on YouTube, which may or may not have been Sith at some point. Is she happy for us to nuke insects that we are killing in our lawns? Are you happy that insects are being killed? Does that upset you?
Yeah, no. Because insects are good. They have their place. And like you said, if birds can eat them and stuff.
Can you include mosquitoes in that sentence?
Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, kill mosquitoes.
Okay. So mosquitoes don't have a role in biodiversity?
No. Well, I heard someone told me once that they may do some pollination.
They also control some populations of humans.
Yeah, exactly. They're shocking.
Shouldn't laugh at that, Kira. That's horrible.
That's terrible.
So okay, here's a better question. How would you prefer insects are engaged? Like, and it's not your choice, right? You're not God of lawns.
Exactly. But
what are you suggesting? If people were looking for a better way to manage insect populations at home instead of using chemicals, what would you do?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on what the problem is, really, doesn't it? Because there's various...
The biggest problems that we've had recently, armyworm and lawn beetle.
Yeah, right.
Can you just get a bunch of birds and just...
Yeah. You can dig them up and just leave them on top, and then the
for
birds can find them. Yeah.
You can irrigate with soapy water.
Yeah, and then it will come to the surface. Yeah.
So...
Yeah. No.
You'd prefer we don't poison the bugs?
I would prefer that, but you know, there are...
There's a commercial reality.
And my honest opinion, but
this is a safe place.
Yeah, right. But, you know, I guess if it's easier for you to use some chemical and you want to preserve your lawn.
I think the sad part is that as humans, and I obviously am deeply across what sells from the Lawnhub standpoint, and people go cure over prevention every time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, the prevention in everything not in everything. The prevention in some cases is a lot harder. Yeah. Right. So like eating healthy and exercising is not as easy as just smashing cokes and watching TV on the lounge. Yeah. But even with like say a pre-emergent herbicide versus a post-emergent herbicide, pre-emergent and post-emergent is exactly the same effort. Yeah. People still don't do it. They go, oh, I've got weeds. Yeah. Oh.
Well, at Glenelg we've been using pre-emergent and it's a game changer.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how... And pre-emergent, and I don't know, and I've never done the studies, I feel like they'd be safer because, I mean, they're drenching into the soil, so that's different, but they're not, I don't know, they're not staying on the leaf.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm sure they're probably be both the same, but...
Yeah. Just for people who don't know, pre-emergent's like a film that you spray on top of the soil, and as the seed germinates, the germ... gets killed by the
German nose.
Yeah, German nose.
Not German yeses. Yeah.
German goes.
But people don't use it enough. Like we would sell post over pre 100 to 1.
Wow,
it's ridiculous.
Amazing.
So
that is amazing.
But that's humans. So where I was going with that is that most people would rather just kill the bugs than I guess spend the effort setting up. Like Nathan just said here, I'm in the process of landscaping my garden beds and putting up some bird houses and feeders, maybe a pond or water feature. Do these help?
Yes.
So that's...
Water in the garden is excellent in terms of attracting insects. And also, you know, bird baths and insect baths. It's great for them because, you know, water sources are so important to all living things.
Fresh water?
Yeah.
Yeah, so swimming pools that are salted and that
they're not good.
Not going to help.
Yeah, even though my parents have ducks that have ducklings in their pool like every year.
Yeah, we get pretty aggressive if I see ducks in the backyard. I've got a German Shepherd. That's my biodiversity.
That's why I'm controlling it.
I just it's funny because the kids will see it and then they go, oh, how cute.
So
and then
cute,
so that's like, oh, don't chase them out. I'm like, if they feel comfortable in that pool, they're not going.
Yeah, that's but they
it.
find that they just have the ducklings and then after a week or so they go.
It's just a safe fenced off area where no foxes can get them.
Oh, I get cats, and neighbours' cats sometimes take the ducklings.
Where do you stand on cats?
Yeah, so I have cats myself. Yeah. So it's about responsible cat management, but because feral cats do a lot of damage to native animals and an extraordinary amount of lizards and...
On the hierarchy of animals you're most comfortable shooting, do cats sit above foxes?
I'd probably go fox first.
You'd rather shoot, right?
No, but still,
they're more troublesome.
Yeah, but feral cats are a massive problem. I know, Warrawong Sanctuary, when they set that up, once they had a cat-proof fence, that just changed everything.
I went up there when I was younger.
Yeah,
saw a platypus. Platypi?
Platypus. Oh,
platypus?
Yeah.
Come on, biodiversity lady.
That's right.
Shouldn't you be across this? You're like, I'm not a vet.
That's right. I won't have any platypus at the golf course.
You do have them?
No, we don't.
I could get you one from Warrawong.
Yeah,
Well, you might need two, hey?
You might need two.
Yeah,
Two would be helpful.
We'll get them. Bearded Kira has more questions. Bearded Kira, you only get 5 questions.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's no questions, eh? Are you moderating for me or are that?
Well, do you want to start our pest? I guess.
Yeah, I'll ask this question first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask this question and then we can do your presentation. A lot of people kind of come in at 3.
Yeah, right.
Once I don't know what you've got to do. I've just got to go pack orders for another 5 hours.
I better not hang around.
No, it's fun. We'll get you a high vis and we'll rock and roll. You just don't have a look at all the chemicals we're sending out across the country.
That's right.
Bearded Kira on YouTube asks, "What's some good native grass? Adelaide is the new Gotham." I think that's referring back to our evolved bats. I was thinking about saying something about that while I was talking. I was like, you know what? We don't need to go there. Everyone will pick up the comparison.
Oh, yeah. There's one of my favourite grasses is the kangaroo grass or the thermida. I love that. And it has that really nice texture to it and the beautiful flower heads on it. And you also get like wallaby grasses and stuff like that. The other one we use a lot at Glenelg, the ostrostipers and stipers. So they come in all different forms, like a big one called flavescens that would, I'd say, come up to my waist but probably not everybody's waist.
Are you just saying most people's kneecaps? Yep.
Yeah, that's right. No, probably, it's quite high, the stiper when that flowers, or then you get some like smaller ones, like there's one that's Stiper elegantissima that has sort of smoky like looking flower heads on it. So when they're in flower, it looks like there's smoke sort of hanging around everywhere.
And can you mow them? Like, is it more they're just left to be?
Yeah, just left to be.
So that basically green, fairway, rough grass.
Yeah. Well, we're actually doing naturalised rough at Glenelg.
Yep.
So, and I think a few golf clubs are starting to do that now too.
Benefit being less maintenance, more biodiverse, more native.
More biodiverse, more native. Sort of some less inputs in terms of chemicals management, but then we are still using Preemergent. So Tim's
once it's established, you can use the Preemergent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Tim says there's still a lot of work that goes into it, but probably not as much.
Tim just says that so that he doesn't get budget cutbacks. It's probably so much easier, and he's just like, don't tell them.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, we need 14 people. That's what we need. Rob's like, I'm pretty sure we could probably transfer one of them into the kitchen.
But you don't have to mow it.
Yeah.
Once you create that naturalised rough, and
would you have to go buy? Like, can you buy native grasses from a nursery, or are you guys harvesting?
Yeah, so we do harvest the seed. We do. There is a guy called Phil Drews, a local guy who Phil Drews collects all the native seeds, and he's been to our course a few times. So we had a deal that he'll collect the seed, and then we can have half of what he collects, and he sells half of what.
Can you tell a seed collector when they walk into a room?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They got to look about it.
Yeah. I can tell an eco person.
Lots of profiling going on here. You shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't be doing that. We're hoping at Glenelg to get to the position where we can actually sort of grow more of our own stuff from seed. And then, that way that it's local to your area and that it survives well in your area. So you can buy native plants from Bel Air Nursery, State Flora. So if you go to that nursery, you don't have to pay the entrance fee. You just go, I'm going to the nursery, go to the nursery and buy plants. Just give you a hit there for the weekend.
Did you just destroy a whole economy for it?
That's right. So if you go through, you don't have to pay the entrance fee. Go to the nursery, you can buy your native plants there. Just the thing, try and make sure that you're buying stuff that is as local to you as possible.
So even though it's native to South Australia, it might be native to Clare and Borough, not native to the coastline.
That's right.
Okay.
So, like, say if you get something that's native to the hills, it might need more water than, like, if you're living on the coast, it would need less water.
How native to, like, are we talking microclimates the size of a suburb?
Yeah, so it used to be within 5 to 10 kilometres of where you live. But I think it's got to the point where there isn't so much of those stands of
That's just a
vegetation
redefinition
left.
to try and...
Well, with grasses, apparently it's within 100 kilometres because the pollination and the seed goes so far.
I feel like that's just a number that's been moved for the government so that they can, like... say, no, this is native because it's too hard. Right?
But it's also like it's hard to find those areas of native vegetation now. Like there's not a lot. But a lot of the councils have been working over the years to create more native veg areas. So those areas are becoming good areas for cuttings and
who do you think is doing it the best in South Australia from a council standpoint?
Oh, it's really hard to pick. Just
there's a lot.
Also, because I have friends that work at lots of councils.
Yeah,
so
throw them under the bus. All right. I don't know. No, don't answer it. That's fine.
No, but lots of councils are doing a lot of stuff like...
I was trying to go that way rather than asking you who's the worst.
Yeah,
but you want to go that way.
Yeah, there's a biodiversity team. A lot of the councils have biodiversity teams.
We had Unley Council when you spoke. I think you dragged in a decent audience. They wanted to see Manina speak.
Yeah, that's nice.
They seem to have a really big biodiversity focus.
Yeah, they do. But also City of Teacher Gully. I know I've been speaking to Matthew Sexton from City of Adelaide. He's head of the horticulture team at the moment, and they've got a biodiversity team as well. So
Adelaide's a very unique council from a management of biodiversity because they've got probably as much green space as most, but then there's just this bang of concrete.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they're kind of having to manage it with vertical gardens and other rooftop gardens and that kind of thing. So
they've recently done some biodiversity work in the parklands and the surrounds, and they've been finding like microbats and native veg and all sorts of things. So we do actually have a pest or guest thing that's a City of Adelaide.
Should we go to that? You seem like you want to share it. We'll come back to the questions. That's all right.
Seeing though I spoke to Matthew Sexton about some information for one of them, I'll have to make sure I share that.
Well, let's do it. All right, guys. We'll do in 15 minutes, 16 minutes, we'll draw the prize for this week. So some people will only be tuning in to see you. Others might be tuning in because they are
going to get a prize.
Excited to win a Ryobi scarifier, which is a battery scarifier.
Wow.
And the
batteries
are ethically mined lithium, not mined by children. So very biodiverse, this prize.
Very eco.
Yes, it will be... No? It will also be delivered on a push bike to whoever wins.
Will you be riding the push bike, or you get Dylan to do that?
No, Dylan and I are going to get a tandem bicycle, and we're going to have a sidecar, and all three of us are going.
Oh, we need video of this.
Imagine having a tandem bike with a sidecar. Like, you're not pedaling enough. So... Talk to me about what this we've got. No guests. Tim never brought anything to share.
Oh,
what have you got?
That's like interesting. So I've got some photos, and this is a game I often play at my education workshops called Pest or Guest. So there's a picture on the screen, and you have to guess.
Oh, we got music as well.
Oh, we got music. That's
this is good. I know what this is. That's a pest. Kill them all.
So I don't know whether we're looking for feedback from the audience or whether we just
we've probably got two people watching. Hang on, just give me a sec. So who's Kira? Can you manage the people? No, but you can see people commenting on YouTube, right? But if they write a comment, it pops up on your screen. How do we get the comments?
I've got one screen.
So I'll open my YouTube. I got two screens. I can do it all.
You do everything.
Yeah. I worked hard for this second screen, Manina. For the first 14 years, they only let me have a laptop. What's that?
I've got a screen.
Yeah, so you're going to throw something up?
Yeah, it's behind us now.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
I reckon I've got my guess.
All right.
Nathan says it's a guess.
Yeah.
Lachlan says Clint is the pest.
Yeah.
I think it's a guest. I think that will become a monarch butterfly.
Not a monarch butterfly.
That's the only butterfly I know.
Yeah. This could be a long afternoon.
I got alcohol. You want to get crazy?
Yeah, we may need
Play
it.
pest or guess. I'll become the pest.
So caterpillars have a number of instars. So as they
Instars?
Yeah, so as they grow, they molt and they have like a different colouring on them. So this, I think, is the last instar of this caterpillar. So it can look different when it's younger, if that makes sense. So we've got guests at the moment.
I think guests.
Yeah.
We've got guests coming through.
All right. Do we move on?
Well, you have to say what it is now, don't you?
Yeah. So there's a picture. The next one's a picture of. So this is a swallowtail, checkered swallowtail.
That's not the.
That is the butterfly from that caterpillar.
Which is a guest.
Guest. That's right.
I knew it.
It's one of the biggest butterflies we have in Adelaide.
Physically biggest.
Yeah. Doesn't come to Adelaide very often.
Because of the bats, probably.
It hates bats. It comes during more humid weather. So we did have a heap of them at Glenelg at one point, and Matt Endicott and I were rescuing them from the plants because they were getting parasitized by wasps.
Parasitized? Like from parasites?
Yeah. So basically...
Nothing to do with the Olympics?
No. These wasps were laying their eggs inside. Yeah, the caterpillar.
If all this stuff goes together, if the bats and the fox gases and the parasitical wasps join forces, we're screwed.
We're screwed.
I don't know about this biodiversity thing, Manina. I think we should just kill them all.
Yeah, basically Clint's going to be having nightmares tonight.
Could those wasps parasiticus a human?
No, they're very specific. So they do it to aphids
they
as well.
They could evolve.
Yeah. It'd have to be pretty big.
All the Christians are
it's
like,
a bit like Alien.
Doesn't happen.
And Clint's going to replay this when they take over one day.
I told you, Christians. So
we were rescuing the caterpillars before they were getting parasitized by this wasp. So
on course?
Yeah. So it likes a plant called Culina australicum.
This feels like you're getting involved in something you shouldn't be getting involved in.
What, rescuing?
It's like when you go to the jungle, like when you go on those African safaris and something kills something, right? You've got to just let it go, right?
No, we were just like, they don't come to Adelaide very often, these checkered swallowtails, so let's try and get as many going as we can. So Matt Endicott almost has like a butterfly factory in his house.
As in they're just living in the house?
No, not in the house, in his backyard.
Okay.
So his father-in-law made him like a meat-safe sort of butterfly keeper, so you can open the door, put their food inside, and then close the door.
Names.
And then yeah, that's right. John, Jeff.
It's like Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, so we tried to rescue as many as we could, and then he was releasing them near the course when they came out as butterflies.
So the parasite, once they're clearly safe as a butterfly, they're fine.
That's correct.
So where would the parasite get laid? In its cocoon?
In the caterpillar.
And then then that.
It's like Alien. It just bursts out of the caterpillar.
And that grows wasps.
Yeah.
So they use it as a womb, effectively.
As a host.
As a host. Yep.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So they also do it. There's also some wasps that do this with aphids as well. So this is why if you have roses in your garden and you have...
You're an idiot if you've got roses in your garden. or you're English.
Or you're an old lady.
I hate them. Jonesy's got roses. That's why I say it. Yeah, he loves it. You know who needs roses? Vineyards. That's it.
Yeah. So,
do you want me to explain why? No. That's
yeah, if you do have... I think it was useful to people about the fusarium. Is it fusarium?
Yeah. So sacrificial plants and stuff.
Oh, it's a great idea. So if you have aphids in your garden... sometimes you'll have other things that will come and eat those aphids. Not sometimes, pretty much. If they find them, they'll eat them. So
they're a food source, yeah.
Birds will eat them, ladybirds will eat them, and also wasps. So wasps will do the same thing. So they will lay their eggs inside the aphid and then it will burst out. So you will find these mummy aphids that are basically... Sorry, I'm freaking you out. I can tell. So it's basically a dried out aphid with a hole in the middle. It's like and so if you see mummy aphids, you know that the wasps are around.
I feel like
laying their
a lot
eggs.
more comfortable with selling Tyrum than I was before the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this is the last
This is not
time.
helping your biodiversity case.
I feel like this is the first and last time I'll come on here after all of his crazy nightmares tonight.
No, that's
anyway.
right. I'll drink myself to sleep.
All
It's
right,
okay.
we'll go to the next one.
On that, so I'm just as you're talking and about like interfering with nature, where's the line?
What do you mean?
Well, shouldn't you let them just? Shouldn't I guess is your role as a biodiversity manager to encourage what you think's right?
Oh yeah, it's a good question.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
devil's advocate.
You're acting as a god. When why are those wasps? Why shouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
Why shouldn't they?
Yeah, well, we do let that happen at times, but this was just because this is a rare butterfly. It's rare to have this butterfly in Adelaide. So if there's the opportunity to create more of them when we can, then we should save them if we can. But if it were just
at the detriment of the wasp.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff that wasp.
Oh, this is...
And I'll find something else to parasite. Like Clint.
Okay. Yeah, my brain. Thanks. I think there's a parasite in there already, to be honest. Oh, this is... All right, we got people looking at this one?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
It's on the screen. I don't want to skew the audience, but I have my answer. I should write it down, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Then people don't just follow.
Tissues from the last podcast?
What, did someone make you cry or something?
No, I don't know what was going on. I had a real runny nose. I think it was just, I was probably unhealthy. Didn't take my vitamins. Got a bit going on here, Manina.
I was going to say.
All right. I've written my answer down. Why are you laughing? Where would you like me to write it on the table? we can't.
have a board or something.
Kira, we're running low. Well, I guess if you guys had prepared the podcast properly, we wouldn't be in this trouble. All right, Dylan, what do you got?
All right, we got Pest.
Yeah, Clint's got Pest too.
The colours are screaming pest. And I think in nature, a lot of times, colours are a giveaway. Is there any other answers? We don't have a very big audience. We might only get one answer.
That's fine. I'm happy just to have a few answers. This is a guest.
Kill it.
This is the caper white butterfly. So those...
They're very pretty, aren't they?
Yeah. So those caterpillars were munching down on some caper, you know, the caper bush?
I know capers that you can have in food.
Yeah.
Same thing?
The caper bush looks, same thing. But the actual bush looks very the leaves are quite succulent-y looking. So, Matt gave me some of those to put on our caper bush at home, and I think a magpie ate them because they were gone the next day.
But that's fine because a magpie is part of biodiversity,
a magpie needs to eat.
That's right.
That's right.
And people should people be feeding magpies mince?
Yeah, this is a very hot topic.
Because it's no different to you saving butterflies, right?
Well, not feeding mince is the thing. I heard the other day rolled oats is better than mince.
My
or
dad
bread.
has always had these butterfly, there's always been magpies that they feed.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I don't know. But yeah. I've got a guest and a pest ready.
Oh, good.
So don't feed the magpies beef.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah. Feed them beef, don't.
Magpies are omnivores.
They are omnivores.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
He does know biodiversity. Wow.
Yeah. I think a lot of the audience is used to me being an idiot. So
I think we're all used to you being an idiot.
And Manina, another lady in my life that tells me how it is. I love it. All right. Where are the questions and answers? So that is that looks like an AI generated thing. That's not even a real thing.
Yeah, no, it 100%.
That's a real thing?
It's a real thing. These are my photographs.
A scarab beetle.
It looks like it. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
A scarab beetle is just a word I made up. Is it a thing?
It is a thing. Yeah. It is a thing. Yeah, it is. No, it is a thing.
All right.
Are we thinking pest or guest here?
You've got me all...
You're confused. He's not confident anymore in his answers.
All right, I've got my answer.
Okay. We got any other answers or questions?
I've got a weird feeling they're all going to be guests and you're going to be like, there is no pests. It's nature. Except when I want to kill hosts. No, kill the opposite of the host.
Foxes or something.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got Pest.
Pest. Yeah.
We've also got no more sharing my sausage with the magpies.
Yeah.
From Bearded Kira. Oh, shit.
Dear. All right.
Yeah, I reckon we got pests coming through.
Yep. All right. And what do you say? You say pest. All right. Is in fact
a
guest. So
they're so beautiful.
yeah, so they were the larvae of the ladybird.
Is the ladybird native to Australia?
Yeah. They have lots of different types.
Do they exist anywhere else in the world?
I think they're all over the world, different types of them.
But they're different because that doesn't look as like Disney as a normal ladybug. Beetle, bird. Ladybird?
Yeah, that's a confusing thing. I think it's ladybird in the States.
Yeah.
What do you mean? As in the
it's not Disney enough. There's not enough
perfect.
spots. They're not. Yeah. They're not equally spaced. They're not round.
So you do have lots of different spotted.
It looks real.
There is actually a pest ladybird that's something like the 26 spotted ladybird. So it's got lots of spots. Clearly,
26.
That's not 26, but yeah. So those larvae that you saw before,
there's going to be no pests, is there?
Just shut up and learn.
Oh, high school PTSD. Okay.
Just wait till the next one. So the larvae of the ladybirds will eat aphids. So if you see them on your roses, then that's a good thing.
That's a Disney ladybird.
Yeah, that's just a different type of spotted, different types of spots. Yeah.
All right. We can't judge, right?
No, we can't.
Every
judge.
ladybird
No.
has a place.
That's right. You know, and you can't judge it if its spots are not quite as nice as you'd like.
It's how it feels inside.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next one. All right.
Is that a bee? I know the answer to this one. There's definitely no pests. All right, Dylan. What are you getting? This is the dude that acts in the RAA commercial. You know?
Oh, yeah. I've got
Yep.
I have something to say about that, actually.
Whoa. I reckon I'm going to guess it is that a male bee doesn't look like that. Male bees don't have beards.
There's that. And they also don't leave the hive.
Yeah. He's out just like doing ads.
Yeah, exactly. Male bees don't even feed themselves.
The women feed them.
Yes.
That's how it
They
should
do
be.
everything.
Yeah.
The women do everything. It's just like life. No.
Yep. Nature.
So
Funny way of correcting
a
things.
beekeeper did say to me, because I said because the drones don't really have much purpose other than to provide a genetic sample at some point. And a beekeeper said to me they do actually provide morale in the hive.
The men,
the
boy
males.
bees.
So when the females come back with the honey, they just go, "Good job, ladies."
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, that's
I think
sometimes.
that's what they do.
Some people, that's all they need.
Just a pat on the back.
Well, yeah, not everyone does it for the money. Sometimes people do it for the glory.
Yeah, so apparently the worker bees feed the males as well.
Oh,
They do everything.
so dude on dude feeding, not
No, the females.
The females are the workers.
The males are not workers. Just saying.
Maybe they're the brains behind the operation.
Yeah. So
have we got some answers?
I doubt it very.
Oh, come on, we've got to draw this prize.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're right. They can wait.
Yeah, we got guessed.
I've got guessed. I think it's a American bumblebee.
No, so this is that was the European honeybee.
Yeah.
And some people would say it is not a guess. So if you eat honey and you like honey.
Oh, because it's
that's great.
European.
Yes. So people see it.
This was covered in your talk. I should have remembered.
Yeah. So some people see it as a threat to native bees. So behind me, I've got all these photos of these are all photos of native bees. So you can actually see in the top, was it top right? Mm-hmm. I think it's a resin bee that's collecting corn pollen, and you can see it's got the pollen in its abdomen there. So there are some people who are celebrating the varroa mite being here, in that it will wipe out the European bee populations and our native bees will actually have a bit more of a go. So there's nearly 2,000 species of native bees here.
Do they all sting?
No, they do not.
Is it the European bee that stings?
Yeah.
So children can rejoice if the European bee gets wiped out.
Yeah. Well, someone told me that his daughter got stung by a blue-banded bee, and I think they can sting. But there's also a wasp that looks very similar, so I don't know whether it was the wasp.
Well, unless they had that app, you can't trust them.
Yeah,
it wasn't peer reviewed, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It was just
could have just been some random.
It wasn't a proper ID. Yeah. So the next photo here I've got of a bee hotel, a native bee hotel. So
they don't put much thought into the architecture, do they?
No, well, we made this at a school that I was at.
Oh, that looks good. That's good. I think you've done a good job there, Manina. That's beautiful.
The groundsman, who was a carpenter, Kevin Sparkman, he used an old bench and cut it up.
Did he say measure twice, cut once at all?
He's told me that before, actually. He has told me that before. And it's probably true.
Yeah, that was obviously measured once.
No, so it doesn't need to look good. It just needs holes for the bees. Literally.
Well, it's got them. Are they straws? Have we found a use for plastic straws? Can we bring them back?
Paper straws. You can actually use paper straws in a bee hotel. No plastic straws. Why do you want plastic straws?
Because paper straws suck.
Yeah, because they get so...
And I think that getting rid of plastic straws is probably not the main thing we should be focusing on if we're trying to change the way the world's moving. I think plastic straws might be a small thing to concern ourselves with.
I don't know, but that photo with the turtle...
When we're dumping waste into the ocean and we're like mega trawling fish out of the ocean.
True.
I think there's probably a few other things we should be spending our time on.
That's true.
But if it makes the politicians sleep at night...
If there's less plastics is a good thing. So in the next photo, do you mind the next photo?
What about the chemicals that they used to make paper straws? I'm worried about that. Anyway, sorry, keep going. This is important.
We are going off topic here. So this is a photo. So this is a close-up photo of that bee hotel.
I was going to say this is a different. This is not a pest or a guest, is it?
No, this is a resin bee coming out of one of the holes that she's laid an egg inside. Well, maybe multiple eggs inside the hole. So what they do is the females collect pollen, roll it into a bowl and put it inside a chamber, and then they put the egg on top. And then they seal that chamber and they create another one. So they basically do multiple chambers within one hole. And you can see the sealed. Can you see the seals?
Yeah.
So she will go to a gum tree or a wattle tree and she will eat the sap and then come back and seal the chambers.
So crazy,
that.
eh?
It's amazing.
And then, so you can tell if there's not live, but if there's bees cooking. I'm trying to think of the right term.
So native bees in South Australia, we don't have any social native bees. So in the eastern states, I have social native bees that have a hive. So like the European honeybee, they live together and they create honey and blah blah blah. Yep. But here in South Australia, I don't know whether it's because it's too dry. We don't have the social bees; they're all solitary. So when you see these bee hotels, it's basically just full of eggs.
And they could be from multiple different other bees. It's not that...
Yeah, because, you can tell by the seal of the chamber.
They vary.
So that one,
it's like a fingerprint.
Yeah, well, they do different things. So like a leaf cutter bee will almost punch a hole. It will look like a punched hole in a leaf. She'll cut the edge of the leaf and then she'll seal the chamber with that leaf.
Yep.
So each bee will have a different seal. And then there's also a cuckoo bee. So the cuckoo bee, like the cuckoo bird, will break in and eat the larvae of the other and lay its own.
So humans aren't the only animal on Earth that's arseholes.
Yeah, that's right. There are arsehole animals.
It's not just us.
That's right. And I've also got a picture there of a like a bee plate that you can put water on so that bees can drink because
that looks like the kind of thing that
it was made by a kid.
A friend of mine. Yeah. I'm thinking this is an adult made.
Yeah.
Shout out to Amy Mudge. So Mudge's wife is a very crafty human being.
Yeah, right.
That definitely looks like something that she would have in her house.
Yeah. So this has sand and rocks, and so when you put the water in, they can suck the water out.
So they can stand on something without.
Yeah, don't drown.
Bees not good standing on water?
Yeah, they can't, and they can't swim.
So when I find them in my pool and save them, I'm now a biodiversity specialist.
You are doing a great thing. Yeah, except those people that don't like European bees. But yeah,
this is so hard.
It's so hard. Yeah,
it's like politics.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. How do
you might agree with the whole like death penalty thing, but then you don't agree with this. But it doesn't mean you don't like the person.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you want to draw that thing now?
We should. We do have a lot of questions.
We do have people. We've still got a couple more photos.
We've actually got some actual questions like sensible, non-podcast, normal. They're different to what we're used to.
Oh, okay.
So I'll ask this question. Well, firstly, I will tell you that Nathan Scasebrook says, please tell Manina that this is a great podcast.
Oh, thank you very much, Nathan.
So, and he would tell you if it was shit. So, right. So this is a question from Clint O. After you cut the grass, sometimes insects appear. Are they good or bad?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good according to me. They're all guests. Yeah. We love them all. Yeah, I don't actually know specifically
depends what the insects are.
Yeah,
it's do you know what like residentially when you cut them and then there's just insects flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I've had some real hectic ones where it's just like where did these come from?
Yeah,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, like ants or something.
No, they're flying. Oh, I guess ants can fly. Some can fly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's almost I wouldn't know what to call them, but I know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
So this is a question from Clint Osborne. Just as Clint O. I don't know. Manina would need more information. Please send photos. But the short answer is all insects are great.
Yeah, well.
Unless they're parasitic wasps.
Oh, they're good too.
They're good, but only when they're not affecting something that we haven't seen for a while that's rare that we need to keep.
Yeah.
This is.
I know, it's very complicated.
It's very much.
I like to make it very hard.
You get to choose what's right and wrong. Lawn goddess. Insect goddess. So, sorry, Kira, can you queue up the Google thingo, please?
Yeah. We still got a few more pests, I guess. But
we'll keep going. We've got time.
Yeah.
We've got time.
But we'll do your draw. I think you should do your draw.
Yeah, we've got to give away a scarifier. So for anyone that's listening that has no idea what I'm talking about, anyone that made a purchase from last podcast to this podcast on lawnhub.com.au will have a hub number, HUB690 whatever, or 68 whatever. We're in the 69,000s. It's getting busier, so you've probably got a 1 in 2,000 chance to win a Ryobi scarifier. The last two people that won, I haven't actually been in touch with them because I'm really shit at my job. So I haven't given them away. But so what are we starting at? 68096. You need a new hub number, don't you? So the last order that's in the system at the moment, make a liar out of me. So we're probably at 1,500, is 69580. So we've done 1,500 orders this week, which is about 500 more than last week.
Wow.
It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's nearly breaking.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So do you want that? Is that on screen? Does Manina's head need to be slightly? Random.org. That's how Dylan meets chicks.
I had my 4-year anniversary.
I know.
I was going to say,
and every time I see a photo
Dylan,
of you and your partner, your lovely partner, I was like, she's really pretty. I wonder if she loves him.
I hope so.
That's a shit. That's a backhanded compliment.
Hey, so nice, man.
I'm sure you guys are going to be madly in love forever. Okay. Oh, that's horrible. Kira loves her partner heaps as well. It's just, there's lots of love.
I'm the same.
Yeah, oh,
I'm
God.
the same.
Yeah, me and my wife basically like commercial relationship, just housemates. It works. So
no, we're 26 years.
We help each other save on tax. So we just spread the income out. We've been to
plus your noisy miners.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they can start taking dividends now, so that's handy. But they we've been together 20 years.
Yeah, right.
Which is funny because I don't look old enough, do I?
No, you don't.
No, that's
I
nice
don't look like I've been with someone 26 years.
No,
I was
right.
15.
We
at the
met
time.
in primary school. All right, so Kira, if you can hit generate, that will choose a number. A winner. 68735 has just won over a Obi Scarifier battery operated with non-conflict batteries. 68735. 68735. Dylan said, I'm not allowed to say that. The legal team has been in touch. They are conflict batteries. Kids in the Congo. All right. So this pack was purchased from Brody J. I won't give anyone's full name. Brody is from Marmong Point in New South Wales and purchased a weed and feed pack, 200 square metres, with a herbicide that probably hurts insects. No, it's not
an insecticide. It's a herbicide.
No, it's not. It's safe for use
because they're very
on
targeted.
buffalo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I have to give a shout out to my friends at Syngenta who are very supportive of me all the time.
Yes.
So I can't
yes.
say bad
Well, there's a
things,
question
but-
about acelepryn, so we'll actually talk about that. Are you across acelepryn? You know what it is?
I know it. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Kills all
all
the bugs.
But I don't really know that well.
Yeah. So I hope we had some come in actually. Anyway, different story. Bearded Kira says, I spent $400 for a chance to win a $300 Scarifier. Yes. But you also got $400 worth of high quality lawn care products. They're also not a $300 Scarifier. I think the pack's worth $598 or something, isn't it?
Because the non-conflict
batteries.
Yeah,
right?
that would have put the price up.
You want a conflict battery? Easy.
That's right. It's much cheaper.
Yeah, that's right. But these people have to get paid award rates, wear safety gear. So congratulations to Brody J from Marmong Point. We will probably be in touch at some point in the next month when I get around to it. Sorry, I'm really shit at this. I need what am I trying to hire? Side quester. Someone to do side quests for me. I've got a few at the moment, actually. It's been good.
Quester.
So that's
not Dylan and Kira.
No. They need side questions. They're busier than I am. No, it's just someone to go do the stupid shit that you couldn't probably actually put in a job description. Like, can you make me porridge? And then I need you to go down to this place. Like, I sent someone to drop past a site today to check if concrete was being poured because I want to know because I'm trying to move into a building. Just random shit like that.
I was like, you're trying to bury a body? Or what
No.
Why do you need
Just
to
need
know about the concrete?
No, Lawnhub's. So Lawnhub's in the WaterPro warehouse. I've got close to 100 pallets of random things being delivered between Wednesday and Friday, and I don't have enough space for any of it.
Right.
So we're looking to move. That warehouse isn't ready. The guy that owns it's got another warehouse that we can use, but there's no concrete to drive in. So it's just
it's one thing after another. Yeah.
Lots of moving parts there. So anyway, Brody, congratulations. You are still in the draw to win the Bush Ranger mower at the 30th of August, so 7 days from today, and we're giving away one more Scarifier before then. I've given away 3 Scarifiers now, and I haven't actually physically given them away because I've got to email them. Not everyone watches the podcast. And then, interestingly, no one knows this, but I got a message last night from a national tool business who are interested in doing some cross-promotional stuff with us. So next month, we'll probably be giving away a different brand of Scarifiers as well as some other stuff. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's get back to guest or pest. Where's the music, Dylan? What's that?
I said that.
Okay. I'm gonna use pest from now on because I reckon this thing's back heavy. Was this built for children?
What's that?
This presentation?
Oh yeah, I haven't used it with children, but you could.
Well, you have now. All right. So people at home,
Noisy miner.
people at home, we have a. Yeah, I know that one. You can look at the leaf. The leaf is a giveaway.
Ooh.
We have a guest come through.
Yeah.
Nah. These things spit on you. They spit. What are those things called?
Spitfire.
Spitfire. That's a spitfire. It's come to kill people.
You
got all the answers?
We've got guest.
I'm going pest, and I'm confident on this one.
Confident on that one.
Yep.
It's actually a guest.
I get no joy from anything. There's no pests, are there?
Well, I just.
Oh, come on, Manina. I bet there's like a rabbit or some shit at the end.
That's right. This is actually in your colours too.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
we should sponsor the butterflies.
That's right.
That could be our sports team.
Yeah.
The Lawnhub butterflies.
That caterpillar did look like a Spitfire, but Spitfires are often on gum trees together, and they
the photo was zoomed in, right? So
but they're often like together.
They are social.
And the stripe, yeah, that's slightly different to this one, but
is that a monarch? It looks kind of like
it looks a bit like a monarch, yeah.
Not quite as bright.
Yeah, it's a painted lady.
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
that's biodiversity in the office. Is that a cricket?
Just vaguely. Is that one of Dylan's sounds, or is it?
You dickhead. That's not what you got. That's not what I could hear.
I was just like, is this how my podcast is being received right now?
Yeah.
Cricket.
No. This podcast will be, if any negative feedback will be because I'm involved. There'll be a lot of people that say that would have been much more interesting if Jonesy had interviewed her.
Oh, yeah.
He's smart. He asks smart questions. Well, too bad. Jonesy's on a holiday. So, all right.
What's that next one? No.
Sorry, radio
Which way
silence.
is the tissue box going to go this
Well,
way?
I have to wait for the people at home. Who's been answering? Has Nathan had everyone right so far? I reckon he's Google image searching this shit.
Oh, so you? I was going to say you're going with him. See what
No,
he is.
not at all. No, I'm an independent. I'm fiercely independent.
He also asked what the prize was for the most correct answers.
That bloke. We'll use your photos in our social media and help highlight the quality lawn that you have at home. We got all the answers?
I don't know another one yet.
So that they can't see it. Oh, they can, no one can see that anyway, can they?
I don't know whether they can. Yeah.
I should have got.
Say-
See, if you guys had planned this better, right?
But next time.
Like a table tennis paddle with Pest or Guest on it that I could hold up.
Yeah. I should have brought one. I didn't think about that.
Like that TV show where they have the capsicum and the
It's
tomato.
Ready, steady, cook.
Yeah, Ready, Steady, Cook with Clint and Manina. Just, Pest or Guest with Clint and Manina. And I just hold up.
We're not guests.
Yeah,
Guest.
they're all guests. There are no bad insects.
No, this is actually a pest.
Oh, fuck.
So that was that cabbage butterfly.
What is it? A cutout? It's just a piece of paper.
No, I was just going to say this is like a...
Someone's cut it out and just drawn a black dot on it.
It's like a yogurt container.
There's nothing wrong with cabbage butterflies. They're all part of nature. They're all part of God's plan.
Kitchen gardeners find them a bit of a pain because they can eat, the caterpillars can eat a lot.
Yeah.
Like we've had them when I was doing kitchen garden work, it decimate a whole cabbage patch like within a week. Like they really are quite voracious. So I started using this as like an organic way to get rid of them. Apparently they don't have very good eyesight. So you can actually fool them with these yogurt container butterflies.
So they go make love to a yogurt container?
No, they will actually, because they're territorial about where they'll lay their eggs. If they see another butterfly, they won't lay their eggs there. So I've actually watched one come down.
It sounds like these things are going to probably sort themselves out. I don't think you need to get too involved. They get scared of yogurt containers.
No, some people use like actual sort of stuff. Diggers sell like a one that actually looks like more like a butterfly. But so that I've seen them come down and actually reverse course because they've seen another butterfly and they don't want to lay in that area. So a lot of people call them a cabbage moth, but they're not a moth; they're a butterfly.
What's the difference between a moth and a butterfly?
I don't know, is that on the next slide? Did I have one of those slides? There's
sorry, I do have a habit of jumping ahead.
You do. That's why I say just listen and
My
learn.
brain works very fast.
Yes, I'm the same. So it's hard for me not to just wait.
I've not said 4 inappropriate things so far. The last one was around Cabbage Patch Kids dying. So anyway.
You've not said 4 inappropriate things?
Well,
Is there
only 3. Oh, every time I think of something and I'm like, no, this is not the podcast. So butterflies, let's read that for people listening because this is a really shitty podcast for people that are actually listening.
Oh, yeah, true.
It's like,
that's a very good point.
One,
I didn't think
guys.
about that.
Thanks. I can't see shit. So butterflies have antennae clean and clubbed. Yeah, go subscribe now. Get me some of those likes. Manina, can I just get you to move to your right a little bit? Antennae clean and clubbed at the end, wings together above body when rested, fly during the day. Moths, antennae feathery and not clubbed at the end, wings flatten across their bodies when rested. Most moths fly during the night, hairier bodies than butterflies. My question was more, do they both come from a caterpillar?
Yes.
Okay, so caterpillars. So all moths are caterpillars. All moths were caterpillars. All butterflies were caterpillars, but not all caterpillars are moths.
That's correct.
All butterflies is kind of all right, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are.
Glad we got through that.
Yeah, there are some moths that fly during the day, but generally most moths fly at night.
Do you think they've evolved to fly during the day? Take your whole religious beliefs out.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a salt and pepper moth that flies during the day. So I'm not sure why.
How many different living things are there on the planet? Don't include humans as one.
I don't know. There is a lot.
Like billions or millions or hundreds of thousands?
Oh, it'd be millions.
Millions of different things. Insects.
Yeah, there'd be so many
Plus
things.
the stuff in the ocean we don't know about.
Oh God, there's so many things. Or maybe just hundreds of thousands. I don't know.
Touching a million.
Yeah, I'd have to be.
Do you think
we just look at
ChatGPT could help us with that?
Yeah, probably. You're going to try that now?
I'll just do that while we're talking. So,
okay. We'll do the next photo. There's another photo for people who are listening on the podcast. Oh, yeah. This is my last one. So this is not a pest or guest. This is a spray or nay. So if you saw this in your garden, would you spray or would you not spray?
It's not lawn. I'm spraying.
What does it look like? It looks like something. Surely.
It does. It looks like a soursop. The flower says spray. Yeah, it's a soursop. Interestingly, there is no there's no registered product for control of soursops in lawns. I learned that this week.
Oh, right.
So the best thing you can do is use a product like NSFW, which might knock them around, but ultimately paint them with glyphosate, which is probably a horrible thing to say. So 1.7 to 2 million named species. So you were right, millions.
Yeah, millions. Yeah.
Right on it.
So many things. Yeah, I started doubting myself towards the end there. But
that's named. 1.7 to 2 million
that's
named species.
There may be unnamed.
8.7 million species unnamed. And if you go into microbials,
there
could be 1 trillion.
Yeah, that's another world there.
And that's just on your pillow. So what are your thoughts on soursop? Should we be killing them?
This is actually a native soursop. So it's the same family, Oxalis, but it's a different species. So this Oxalis is present in Pacapacanthi in Victoria Park.
I was going to say,
City of Adelaide. And there is a rare butterfly that has a symbiotic relationship with ants that lays its eggs on this plant. And when the eggs hatch, the ants grab that caterpillar, attend ants, and they take it down into their burrow to look after it.
That's bullshit. That's made up. You made that up.
No, I did not.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it?
Why? Like, I know, obviously so that it lives and shit, but who cares? Like, why are they just like, oh, you know what we should do today?
Yeah.
We should help that caterpillar.
Yeah, so what they do is in the morning, they're like, oh, well, it needs to go back and eat the soursop. Yeah. They take it back up. So they check there's no predators there, and they take it back up to the plant so that it can eat on that plant, and then they bring it back down. And eventually it gets to an age where the caterpillar secretes.
Don't tell me it kills the ants.
No.
That's got to be a horrible ending to this story.
No, it's a friendly, happy relationship. Yep. So it gets to a point where the caterpillar secretes some kind of, it sort of tastes like nectar, I guess.
How do we know that? Because someone's licked it. Come on, Manina. You biodiversity people.
So the ants are attracted, I think, by the smell. So there's some kind of pheromone that they're like, oh, this smells great.
So if we help it, we get more secretion.
Yeah, and then eventually it starts doing the secretion. So this butterfly was thought extinct, the checkered copper butterfly. It was thought extinct years ago, and in 2011 it was found in the... Yeah, thank you to Matt Endicott for his photo. So it's quite small, and it was found in Pacapacanthi, Victoria Park. I was talking to Matthew Sexton from City of Adelaide and asking, how does council manage that area now?
At the southern end of Pacapacanthi?
Yeah, I think it is.
Because obviously the northern end's V8 supercars.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And he was saying that they don't spray in that area, and they actually
it's pretty,
look after
it's a pretty left alone part of the CBD.
And he was also saying to me that they are now looking at the management of the grasses around there, because they believe that the Butterfly Conservation Society SA is doing a lot of work monitoring this area. And one of their volunteers, Greg Coote, was saying that he believes that they use the grasses for display and mating. The thing that really messes with my mind is that when a pregnant female is going to lay her eggs, she will not lay her eggs unless she sees the ants, Iridomymex species or something.
Which is interesting because it means, obviously you said they have a symbiotic relationship, so that clearly states that, but both of them have worked out.
They need each other.
Key things,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Nature.
Absolutely amazing.
Do you think this is a simulation? Because that seems very simulation. That seems like some coder has just gone, let's set up a relationship between a butterfly caterpillar situation and some ants and see if these stupid humans work it out.
That's right. So Butterfly Conservation SA recently had a herding caterpillars festival where they did like plays and they sort of educating people on what happened. And they've got like Rosina Postemergent has worked on a virtual reality, some virtual reality stuff for kids to learn about how the butterfly and the ants work together. So it's pretty amazing.
Butterflies feel like they could be the poster child for conservation.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
Because they're pretty. And kids love them. Like some of the other stuff that we see that's necessary, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, but they're also an important bird food source. So birds eat butterflies. See, I'm not in...
Do you have butterflies pinned in frames in your house?
No, I don't. Okay. No.
I think that sometimes that looks cool.
It does look pretty awesome. Yeah. And they do die eventually. They don't have a long life.
Do our butterflies tend to be more like natural tones than butterflies from other parts of the world?
That's an interesting question, Clint. I'm just running through my brain now.
Like, you know, the real strong blues. Are they're not an Australian butterfly or more northern?
Yeah, more northern Queensland or whatever. We do have some blues here lots of different blues here in Adelaide, but they're more like a dusky sort of lighter colour blue. And you can see them around your grasses sometimes, or even on your lawn. Just a very little grey one. Yeah, you see that around a lot. So I think that's the end of the Pest or Guest.
Do we have any music to finish the thing? Because I've got some sounds I can add, but I don't know if any of them are appropriate. These are all inappropriate. I just think I'm going to leave the soundboard alone, Manina, and just show some respect for
biodiversity in general.
Well, for you more specifically.
It doesn't bother me.
But
I'm not always as professional as I seem, but anyway.
Well, I think that you will cut through if you are normal and human. Yeah. Right. And I think if you come into a situation and get on your high horse and try and promote your thing, whatever it is, people are like, chill out, lady or man. Like, But if you can come in, like I said, you're going to get more support being inside the fence than outside the fence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Let's get some questions. Okay. I've got a few here. We asked that one. Bearded Burns, which is Bearded Kira. What's the weirdest biology fact that you know?
Oh, I don't know.
I can tell you what I know that you just told me.
I'm not sure.
That we discovered that caterpillars secrete something that's sweet. That's weird.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. The ants will drink.
There's got to be some other thing like that. What, you know how you said about putting they host wasps in a caterpillar. Is there other stuff like that going on that's even scarier, like spiders laying eggs in heads and shit?
There probably is,
okay.
But I don't really...
No answer for that?
I don't really entertain all of that. Yeah, no, sorry, I don't know. Bearded... Who was it?
That's Bearded Burns. That's the original Bearded Sith.
I was going to say.
He's just...
so many bearded... I was like bearded dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't...
Or the bearded lady in the circus.
Circus, yeah.
Kira, this is a question from Kira.
Oh, this is actually our Kira? It's not Kira 2.0,
right?
3.0.
This is it from you?
Not one of the other Kiras?
I see a lot of anti-lawn memes claiming they ruin our ecosystem. What are your thoughts on that? Have you seen them? Like, people will be like...
I haven't actually.
So, on a lot of the Facebook groups. Have you got any examples?
Yeah. I
haven't
seen any.
Kira's good. So, Kira has a symbiotic relationship with pop culture. So if there's something going on the internet, she knows what's going on. Yeah. She's deeply across. Very, very handy for her position because when memes pop or videos happen, then so that look behind you. That's definitely one that was prepared at the...
no, I see where that's going.
Yeah. There's other ones where on lawn Facebook groups, people will just be like, post a photo of all these like the top right hand corner, like the kind of native flowers, and saying this is what you shouldn't have lawns. Lawns are shit. Yeah. So what was the question? What was the Jesus, Clint?
Yeah.
Said to yourself, what are your thoughts on that?
Is this why you're not drinking Coke?
No,
That's the sugar make you crazy.
I am trying to moderate my intake. I've lived a pretty heavy life, but I'm working about 15 hours a day at the moment, and so I'm just trying to make sure that I can get through till 10 or 11 at night tonight. So just have water at the moment. But usually this podcast, I'm 6 standard drinks deep and like playing toss the coin to see if I can drive. But so the question was, what are your thoughts on these anti-lawn memes?
Yeah, so I would rather people have lawn, in my opinion. It's better that people have lawn than that artificial crap that is just...
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I just think that is one of the worst things going around. We are using that in the revetted bunkers at Glenelg, but I mean...
You're using recycled versions of it though, aren't you? Or you have done?
Yeah. We have done.
Like Tim's initial lot was actually stuff that had been cut out.
Yeah, we had done, But that artificial lawn is just so bad for the environment. It would be... I think people having... I don't think lawns are a bad thing, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's probably a little... Like, that probably is the example of like, let's concentrate on less about straws and more about plastic lawns. That was another example.
That's true, But I mean, with the artificial turf, when it rains, that water is just running off the surface. It's not penetrating the soil. Yeah. So what we want water to penetrate the soil, which it would with lawn. The other thing about that artificial turf is it's very hot. So I went to a presentation at the World Parks Congress where someone was saying that they'd measured the heat load, and the heat load from artificial lawn was ridiculous.
It's in the 60s in some areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also you still get like weeds growing out of that as well. So
there's a lot of other, like if a dog wheezes on it, it stinks and stays there.
Yeah.
If you had a fire on there, like as in, you know, you think about the reparative nature of lawn. If you melt it, it's gone.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of it.
Well, and do you know the other thing? Like if, say, leaves fall onto your lawn, you know, you can scrape them up, I guess, but you could leave them there and eventually the insects and bugs will decompose that leaf. But if you've got leaves and stuff sitting on top of artificial turf, they just sit there. They don't do anything. And then as well, you get all those problems with sometimes artificial turf. It was in this same presentation, they were saying that there was a flood and then all the turf, like the council spent an absolute fortune on it, and then it all moved during the flood, and then they hadn't the money to actually fix it when they had tennis courts that were lawn courts that were underwater for a while, but once the water left, they were fine and they could still use those areas. So yeah, I'm not anti-lawn. I just think that if you do have a garden area, that if possible, you should plant native plants around that lawn area if you can. But I think lawns are good and they are more cooling for the environment. Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, it's also an environment. Like, I can't imagine there's too many positive insects.
Yeah.
Guests.
Yeah.
Living in artificial lawn.
Exactly, yeah, because they're a very dead space. When lawn, there is actually activity on that lawn. And I'm not just saying that because this is a Lawnhub podcast.
That's right. That's right. I guess from a podcasting standpoint, I'll talk to anyone. Like, I think that sometimes people can get caught up only talking to people that have a parallel view.
Yeah, that's right.
And it doesn't give an opportunity for people to actually discuss conflicting ideas.
Yeah.
And from that, I think that comes learnings and educations. And I definitely think that there'll be people that have like listened to this or that will watch and listen to this after it gets produced on, like, obviously this is live now, so there'll be some people that watch it, but we have
to cut out half of it for the photos of people on the podcast.
Yeah. No, that'll mix well. These guys are amazing. Like those photos will mix in live. And then, but it's a higher quality version afterwards. But people will watch it and be like, I didn't, the Bee Hotel doesn't look that hard.
Yeah, it's not.
We could do that.
And as you were paying us out about that Bee Hotel, it does work.
It's meant to look like that, guys. That's what it's meant to look like.
Well, actually, I must say, on the thing of Bee Hotels, do not buy those ones that you find in the shops that are only about like not even 10 centimetres deep, because apparently they're really not very useful for bees, because as I mentioned before, they don't just do one egg, they do like multiple eggs, sometimes like 10 eggs within that chamber. So they need like a longer chamber. So I think it's like at least 15, 20 centimetres would be the minimum.
Do you think you'll sell products in your business?
No, I hadn't thought about that. But as I'm talking to you now, I'm like, actually,
I think you
it's
should.
an idea. Yeah.
I think that there'll be people like me who are not making a Bee Hotel.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'd be like, you know what? If I could buy one for $49.95 plus shipping, I'd probably put one in.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not making one.
Yeah.
Like, and there'd be other things that people would probably come up and go, oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Where do I get it?
Yeah, that's
Which will be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Especially if the ideas are new. And this is probably one of the things that we're discovering with Lawnhub, is that just because you know it to be normal,
that's right.
It's not fair to assume that everyone else does.
That's true. Yeah.
And so they're like, oh no, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And it's normal for you every day. Yep, we're doing that every day.
Yeah. Well, we have actually been thinking of doing some sort of education, like online workshops and stuff like that. So we've got an online iNaturalist workshop coming up in a couple of weeks to teach people how to load pictures onto iNaturalist.
And so that's
use that
paid, like paid webinar.
Yeah. But just going back to that lawn question before, when you mentioned like, where do I stand on lawn? I guess we're talking about insects in lawn, but we also have worms in lawn as well, because we've got lawn in our backyard, and I wouldn't say an argument, but my partner and I disagreed on how much garden, how much lawn, and he said, it's good to have a lot of lawn, especially when you have parties, and he's right. Like, we have parties, people play bocce or like sit on the lawn or whatever. But we also have magpies and stuff getting worms and going through there trying to find insects. So, and like you said, with artificial turf, there's no one getting anything out of that.
You could feed the magpies beef.
That's true, on the artificial turf.
Kira's found a Bee Hotel available on Amazon for $24.99. So you are going to have to probably brand yours.
Yeah, I have to like go down in price a bit.
No, don't do that, Manina. No,
This won't be like one of those.
This is going to be this one here is made from shitty bamboo.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Fake, is that fir wood? Is that French for fake wood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could definitely get $49.95. People are going to want to buy your branded ones because they've got like some
credibility.
There'll be something. There'll be something. It'll be native wood, recycled timbers, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I can help you with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we're coming up with business ideas here.
I can't stop. My brain's
I was going to say, just
even
constantly.
when because the reality is that the business that you're in now, you're selling time, right? Ultimately, there's only so many hours that the two of you are able to work, and then to scale, you just have to hire more people. Yeah. But if you can sell a course, fuck, that'd be good. Yeah. You do a course if you haven't thought about this now.
Oh, we have. Yeah.
Get that sorted and sell a course for $99 or $199, and funnel that course with a download on how to make your own bee hotel. So that's free. Then you get their email. Oh God, this is.
Yeah, I was going to say we've gone for a while. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
We just got off on a tangent.
This is good for everyone. Start a business. But and then you sell that course, and then it's just. Yeah. That would work really well. I'll just check if there's any more questions. Otherwise, we can probably wind it up. Our audience have been very, very polite.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say it's much less out of control than the last one.
Yeah, I don't know
all
why.
The carers and
did
a bit of Sith question.
Lachlan Elphick on YouTube says, can Clint do arts and craft next pod and make a bee hotel? Let him have at least 8 standards, then raffle it off with the scarifier. That'll be so good. There'll be like plastic straws, stirrers, just all the shit I find. We'll just get a Lawnhub 10 litre bucket and just like put straws in it and be like, there you go. That's a fish hotel. It's a bee hotel. Whatever you want it to be.
I'm doing some kids craft.
It's a snorkel for a turtle.
Yeah. Well, nature festival's coming up during the September school holidays, so maybe we'll do a nature festival craft with Clint.
Would you get involved in that kind of thing? Like you'll do something.
Yeah, I do stuff with some of the councils. So City of Mitcham, we're doing something. City of West Torrens, and then I'm working on maybe another one with Nature Festival.
Is the nature thing a state thing?
Yeah,
it's not national.
No, it's
just
a
the South Australian
festival.
thing.
Yeah, it's set up here,
and all the councils get involved.
Yeah, so I think Vicky Jo Russell, who works at Trees for Life, was one of the people that set that up, and yeah, it's a great festival. I think it's 5th or 6th year. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah,
that's good.
It's really great. And like she was telling me about some of the things that they're doing. It's just
you got to get the
fantastic.
kids.
Well, no, they do have the adult ones as well. So they've got
they're hard to fix though. The kids you can get them, teach them about nature now. I mean that's what.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but
that's what was happening when we were at school.
Yeah. But some of the stuff is like working with traditional owners and doing like tours and stuff like that. So
there's so much we don't know. Hey, like even just when you say that, it's just like natural remedies and I guess the 1 trillion bacteria that we don't know about.
Yeah, well, my first job out of design school was for City of Holdfast Bay for a garden next to an Indigenous sacred site. So it's one of the most sacred sites in Adelaide, called Chilbrookie Springs, which tells the story of Chilbrookie, whose nephew died after his cousins killed him, and he carried the body down to Cape Jarvis. And as he went down to Cape Jarvis, he sat in different areas and he cried and left freshwater springs. So there's a freshwater spring at Kingston Park. And as part of that, I told the story of Chilbrookie and included the plants that the Indigenous people used for food and medicine. And it's really amazing, the stuff that
I'm guessing that information's been taught to you from Indigenous people?
No,
or
I
you
did
just
researched it. Yeah. And I had, at the time, Jill Pearson from City of Holdfast Bay went to the museum and did some research as well. And then we had to speak to some local Kaurna people and get them to sign off on what we were doing. Which was an interesting experience in itself.
The first thing I thought of when you said like the most sacred place, I'm like, how do they know? Like, as you know, obviously handed down. It's just like there's no ranking system, right? Like it's what
well, I think it's just part of the story. So there's I totally forgot the name, a place down at City of Marion. It's where the Indigenous people on Sturt Road there.
Kira will find it.
Yeah. For some reason, Waiping is coming. You know, I can't remember. Oh, it's totally slipped my mind. So that's
Dylan's
where
pretty self-focused.
Yeah. That's where the campsite was, and that's where Chilbrookie carried his nephew from there.
To Cape Jarvis.
and then went up to Cape Charles.
I guess it's not that far. Walking it would be.
Yeah. So
far out.
Yeah, and carrying a body at the same time. So that's what Kingston Park. There's a sculpture there that's of him carrying his nephew. The two pieces of stone put together.
Far out.
Yeah, but anyway, it's pretty amazing, like how they used all the plants and things that they did.
I think there's a lot that we don't know, even if you take it outside of, I guess, Australia's native knowledge, but the world. Yeah. I guess Eastern medicine as much as anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that we just don't know. It's like, here, take this pill.
Yeah, well, like people have said to me with acupuncture and whatever that they've had things that could not be fixed, and then they had acupuncture, and next thing they're fine. And you're like, wow, that's
fasting
amazing.
is another one.
Yeah,
one of the Matt, he went and did a fast.
Yeah, right.
And had like ridiculous benefits from it. So yeah, I think there's a lot that I think there's two sides to it. I think there's a lot we don't know, but I think there's a lot that's being suppressed so that we don't have to know, and then we just go down the natural medicine or the non-natural medicine path and just take this.
Yeah, because you think it's going to be an easy fix or something.
Well, and someone makes money from it, but let's not get too deep into that hole. I've managed to avoid it. I've managed to avoid it for the whole podcast.
There's conspiracy theories.
Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States. Dylan.
Dylan has a question.
No, Dylan is the focus of this comment. Lachlan said, "Let Dylan know I have a BYD and love it." Dylan's buying one of those conflict-free battery-operated cars that's owned by the communist regime that is China, called BYD. Yeah, definitely no listening devices in your car.
That's that build your dreams? Is that?
I thought it was bite your... No.
That's the other.
He's getting a dolphin or a... I don't know. I don't know why they name the cars, electric cars, after something that goes in water, but, whatever. I could have called it something crazy. Sure, there's a heap of words connected to electricity and bolt and lightning and thunder and electricity and buzz and, I don't know, curly, what's that machine called? But you hold your hand near the board. It's like,
yeah.
A strobe.
That's what he's been doing before the podcast. His hair just went on.
That'd be more like straight.
Oh, not curly. No,
this one's all connected to eating his crusts.
Eating his crusts.
Yeah. Nate Extreme says, I have a sudden urge to start a new business all of a sudden.
Selling bee hotels.
And then said conspiracies with Clint while doing arts and crafts. Yeah, that's right. I'll talk to you about what's going wrong with the world, make you a bee hotel, get drunk, and you can be in the draw to win that bee hotel by heading over to lawnhub.com.au and using the code Manina to buy some insecticides. So how long until you're out the gates, I guess, as an employee or as a part-time employee?
Yeah, that's right. Well, because I've been part-time.
Have you got a hard line on that, or are you kind of...
No, we're not yet. We're
you
still
just keep working
on
through
that. Yeah, see how we go. But
I think it's amazing that the leadership is able to do that. I think that I'm a big fan of if you don't want to work here, tell me and I'll help you find another job. Yeah. No one believes me, but I have had conversations with people... Bearded Sith is back. It's Bearded Sith. They name the cars after the animals they kill. So you should get a BYD 8-year-old Congan child. No.
Purple cat.
No, BYD child minor. Where do you think the lithium comes from, bro? Yeah. Let's not talk about it, right? Sweet and sour dolphin. Oh god. I was on a really good train there, and I shouldn't stop.
You were talking about.
I think it's really good that when you can get leadership that is willing to work with someone that's looking to leave, and they do it right. Yeah. And for two reasons, it's good for you, right?
Yeah.
You want to go do your own thing,
that's
fine.
Yeah.
It also shows other people in the business, or I guess it's still a business, a golf club, that. You can come and talk to leadership and not be scared that you're going to be punished for something that's not really a punishable offence. Yeah, because it would have been easy for them to go, well, fuck, see ya.
Piss off.
But no, that's not.
That's right.
But it's silly.
Yeah. And I think it's also because I'm still doing stuff for them that they don't have anyone else to do.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's just that. That would be an easy one to go, oh, well, we'll just get someone else. Yeah. But I think that you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You understand the business. You're a friend of the club of course.
Yeah.
So why would there be? It would be silly to do anything other than that. So I think that's really cool. So are you busy at the moment? Like if people wanted to reach out and get you to come and do some consulting, are you ready to rock and roll? Or you just call in sick?
That's right.
So Manina's sick next week.
We have our website, torgersengilbey.com.au.
Can we link that up somewhere, guys? Is that easy to do?
Has our packages and stuff, and then also on
so you can buy a package. So you could buy a...
no, so I guess you work out... No, so this is to consultancy services, so to work out which services you want and what you'd want us to do for you. So we do like a variety of things, really.
Yep.
So it could be like a regular, we'd come and help you with members' newsletters or help you with your biodiversity programs, help you set up your iNaturalist. Like there's all sorts of stuff we can do, and then I can, help take photos for social media. And all
You're going to get busy real quick.
I think so. It might be one of these things that's like a slow burn, and then it will just be... Yeah.
My unsolicited advice would be just be careful what you say yes to. Because I think if you say yes to the wrong things early, you're going to get stuck doing shit that sucks for not enough money when you don't get to go do the fun stuff that you really care about that you make money on.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Is there anything that people need to know? What should people be doing?
In terms of their garden?
Protecting our environment.
Yeah, well, I think, people sort of say to me, oh, well, why is it important? Why should we really care about it? But it is important because, one, you've got noisy miners at home. you want those little noisy miners to grow up and have a nice environment, and you want their children to have a good environment as well. And we want to try and do what we can while we can.
Do you think that the impact that we have as Australia is relevant when we're fighting against the lack of concern from large countries polluting the universe?
No, there is that too.
It matters?
But I think it matters if you can make a difference locally to your own area. Like, for instance, if we can plant more trees and cool the environment that we live in, well, that's going to help us because climate change is coming, whether you believe it or not. It is actually happening. And I know.
You want to talk about climate change?
Sorry,
we might get to go down it.
No, finish it. No, but it is getting hotter, and
that might be a cycle, right?
Yeah, well, it could be, but whatever
it could be plastic straws. It could be a cycle.
That's right.
But we got rid of the straws, so climate change will stop. Yeah.
So if we can create cooler areas, even just in our backyard,
which
for
obviously
us to retreat
trees,
to,
lawn.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the more green space you can put in your backyard.
And it's hard, obviously, because the yards are getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah,
and smaller.
exactly. And so that is getting harder and harder. And some of it is more reliant on councils being able to add more trees to the environment.
Yeah. And people are busy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think everyone says they're busy. But to then go mow and water and weed and plant.
Yeah. So if you plant native plants, they will need watering in their first year, and afterwards they will just pretty much survive on local conditions.
So you would still buy an irrigation system. You just turn it off after a year.
Exactly. Because you may need it during extreme heat. Like you may need to get the plants through in
That's good. I was
heat.
joking.
So,
you've just brought the sale home.
Just working all together.
Just remember where you are.
Yeah, so try and plant, I guess, as many local plants as you can, and plants with flowers are really important. So I've just done a job with Stewie Gillespie at West Lakes Golf Club. And we've planted up a few areas around tees there, and I've tried to put as much flowering plants as possible because the flowers attract the insects attract the birds and other things.
It's funny, as you're saying that, a photo of my backyard flashed behind you, and I was like, yep, no flowers.
Yeah, you're like, I hope Manina can't see that, because she actually can't see that. But,
I think we've got magnolias which have a flower for a day a year or something. Yeah, but real handy.
Like even if a kitchen garden, like even if you're growing herbs and vegetables, when I was managing a kitchen garden at Woodend Primary School, I'd always let the carrot family.
Let the basil go.
No, but carrots. If you let carrots and coriander and stuff like that go to seed.
Well, coriander's a weed, right? So you just get selective on that.
That's right. Yeah, but you can actually attract insects by letting things flower sometimes. So
that's a challenging one. I hate when basil flowers.
Do you?
Well, it just goes.
Oh, yeah, because it goes then.
But if you can keep it maintained.
Yeah, like cutting it out. But the bees love it.
Yeah.
The bees love it when you've got the basil flowers. So, even in your kitchen garden, you can always add flowers to your garden.
If all the bees die, how long until the human race dies?
Well, do you eat food?
Yeah, but I can survive on no food for a couple of months, 30 days, I don't know.
So 1 in 3 mouthfuls of food comes from a pollinator.
Yeah.
So there's actually a photo online of a vegetable shop with bees and without bees.
Yep.
So basically you'd be having potatoes.
So you'd be Irish.
Onions. Yeah, we spoke about this last time, cabbage. Yep. So it would be, you wouldn't have lots of the fruits that you have, like you wouldn't have vanilla.
That sounds very much the food that was available during the Great Depression.
Yeah, it'd be like that, basically. Would be back to like oats or gruel.
Staples.
Yeah, staple stuff, bread.
Could be good, lose some weight.
You know, you wouldn't have all your berries and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, the variety of food that we have thanks to pollinators is great for us. So if we lost our pollinators,
look behind you.
Yeah, that's the one. That doesn't look very appetizing, really.
Is that oranges?
I think it's oranges.
That's cool. We've got oranges. We'll be right.
Yeah, this is a broccoli.
It looks a lot more diverse than I expected.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's missing. Tomatoes.
Lettuce and tomatoes. What's the red stuff
tomatoes.
in the back? Capsicums, no?
Yeah.
They need pollen?
There might be apples, but apples get pollinated as well.
Can't you just plant them and they'll be right?
Yeah, there's a picture and there's a picture in China where they've paid people to hand pollinate. They've got people
they can
in
manufacture
ladders.
apples, so
yeah,
that's
they've
different.
got people in with ladders pollinating the plants. So even like zucchinis.
Don't get on your high horse. That's no different to saving butterflies from wasps.
Yeah, but I mean, if they had the bees, they wouldn't have to freaking do that. They don't have to pay people to do that. But like,
they're not getting paid. Don't worry.
Yeah,
they're in China.
But tomatoes, capsicums, all them. They're foods that we love to eat, and they need pollination.
How good are tomatoes?
Yeah, well,
when you see those people take the tomatoes out of the burger, obviously you're not a beef burger.
What's that about?
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the best bit. So tomatoes are self-pollinated. They don't necessarily need a pollinator. But blue-banded bees are excellent at pollinating tomato flowers. If you look online, there is a video called The Head Banging Bee, and it shows a blue-banded bee banging its head. It's set to heavy metal music, so we don't need the music. Well, we might want the music. I don't know, on a Friday
Kira just
afternoon.
looked at me and said, "Do you want me to find that?"
yeah.
And I said, with my eyes, "No, that's fine, Kira."
But it's been proved by Katja Hugendorn, one of the researchers at Adelaide University of South Australia. She showed that if a tomato is pollinated by a blue-banded bee, it tastes better and it has better seeds.
Okay.
So, yeah, insects are important.
Oh, yeah.
They're annoying
just not
to
in my
some people.
backyard. It's sad, though, because that does become... my answer is very human-like. I'm happy for someone else to do that, but I don't want it to be my problem.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
The last question we've got...
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's two.
I was going to say, we're running out of time.
There's a question and a comment. One is from Damo Mansfield, who said, "Clint is my little cabbage."
Oh.
And
wasn't Cabbage Patch Doll.
No. Damo's usually the first to comment on any new videos. Long-time fan of the show. We haven't actually met. I think he lives in Western Australia, so we'll have to make that happen at some point. Maybe I'll come and do some consulting with you.
Yeah.
Bearded Sith says, "Does vegan beef need bees?" I think so.
I think it does, because I think it's made from pea proteins.
Pea and soy and stuff.
So I think it does need pollination.
So even vegan beef needs bees. There you go, Sith. Thank you very much for coming in and doing this. I have to also thank the audience for being very well behaved.
They did well today.
They're not
Didn't
usually,
go crazy.
No, unless Kira's moderated the shit out of it, and afterwards she'll tell me. It's been kept really clean.
Yeah.
I genuinely wish you all the best with the business.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on too.
Both the most beautiful and most scary thing you'll ever do.
Yeah.
And even... I'm 15 years in, I still have shit myself moments.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah.
So if anyone needs to get in touch with Manina, we'll link up her website, your Instagrams and all that. You've got your personal separate to...
Yep.
And then, basically don't kill the bees.
That's right. Look after it and plant flowers as much as you can.
Natives.
Natives.
All right.
Yeah, natives.
Let's
definitely.
get out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
See ya.